Salary plus benefits is dead. Dead, dead, dead. If you want to attract new grads, put them on a pay-for-performance model, not a shared risk model. I'm not a fan of these other apps out there and these other programs. People are selling shared risk. Nobody wants to share your risk. Welcome back, everybody, to another one of our three-part series here on YouTube on recruiting. And what I want to speak to you about in this part one of the three-part series is how you can most succeed in hiring the new grad, right? So let's first of all, as a physical therapist for the last 30 years and owning a staffing company, so I was interviewing on average 5 to 7 interviews a week, I learned a few things. And I learned that much like marketing, you need to know your audience. You need to specifically communicate to the individual in front of you. So when we go to run an ad, and if I have some senior therapists in my office and I'm pretty heavy in that mentorship area, I want to create a pipeline of new grads coming into my practice. So the first thing I would do is get the knowledge based on survey and based on research as to what is most needed and wanted by the new grad. The definition of a new grad is anyone who's been out of school 3 or less years. 3 or less years is a new grad by my definition. I hope that satisfies your definition as well. When looking at these new grads and understanding what they most need and want, I think top of the list, many of you are saying money, it's money, right? Sort of. It's actually experience. They literally want mentorship, knowledge, training, grooming, professional development of some sort, form, or fashion that they don't have to pay for. That as a result of them working for you, they've increased and improved their skill sets, their delivery, their communication skills, their ability to gain agreement with patients, compliance and participation, engagement. It's not just getting better manual therapy techniques, or it's not just learning how to use the newbie E-stem, which is a very advanced piece of electrical equipment that you should absolutely learn about through New PT Tech and see Jason Waz on that because it's a differentiator. And when you're a new grad and you could apply a technique like the newbie E-stem, you immediately are practicing in the top of your license by using a highly advanced piece of technological equipment that is neuromuscular rehab oriented in the way in which you code and document and utilize that service. So that's just an example. But if I'm recruiting this new grad, I need to know what they need most. And like I said, number one, mentorship, learning, professional development, the hands-on applied highly tech training or modalities or manual therapy care, strain counter strain, muscle energy, things like this that are just more advanced than just, stretching and exercise, right? Number two, what they really want is this degree of autonomy, but this degree of value, valuation, that they bring value to the team, but yet they actually are able to practice autonomously. So give them this mentorship, but also give them the room to actually practice their craft, learn their style, learn their pattern, learn their clinical efficiency, timing and skills and documentation so that they can walk out after an 8-hour day within 60 minutes of their last patient. This is very important in the new grad universe. They want to have this work-life balance, and a lot of it is lost when you haven't spent the time to mentor them, orient and train them as to how to use the EMR system effectively, how to customize their documentation, their reports, their notes, their updates, their communication letters to physicians and insurance companies. Streamline this for them, help them, mentor them, train them in this area, right? So get them mentored, get them in a workplace environment that has work-life balance through good EMR, good technology, good mentorship, good training. Help them be part of a company culture where they feel valued, okay? Because there's two things that in this second point I'm trying to make with hiring a new grad is they need to feel acknowledged for who they are as a person and valued for what they're providing as a clinician. So validation and acknowledgement are very important. Validate them for good deeds well done. Acknowledge them for being an outstanding human being and participating in your company culture. I may have reversed that in the beginning, but I've straightened it out now. Validation for what they're doing professionally and clinically. Acknowledge them for who they are as a person. They're going to feel much more engaged in a part of your group. They'll never want to go anywhere else. So have that and be able to demonstrate that on interview day when you walk that new grad through your practice, that they feel that vibe within your practice, within your clinic, because this is super important. Third is kind of money, right? But it's not just money. It's not just dollars dropped off in their living room in a wheelbarrow. That's not it. Although many of you are like, what's wrong with that? Not good. They want to have more of a pay for performance kind of arrangement, because they feel that as I do better and as I practice my craft better and as I become more professional and more productive and more clinically efficient, am I not entitled to a greater reward for what I do? Salary plus benefits is dead. Dead, dead, dead. If you want to attract new grads, put them on a pay for performance model. Not a shared risk model. I'm not a fan of these other apps out there and these other programs. People are selling shared risk. Nobody wants to share your risk. Put them on a pay performance model. And this element here goes to the other types of therapists you could hire too, the advancing therapists and the veteran therapists. So many of us, look, if I just stop talking right now and I ask you to go research orthopedic surgeons or physicians that work at hospitals or surgical centers, they all get paid on performance. None of them get salary and benefits. That's been dead for 20 years for them. We need to catch up. We need to get with the times. Offer somebody a pay for performance model that rewards them for clinical efficiency, clinical production, giving an abundance of care with each and every engagement because you're skilled to do so, and high quality care based on outcomes and patient satisfaction through Net Promoter Score. If you have that combination and you have that formulation, I guess is the way to say it, that formulation within your system that's automated and can calculate that out so your payroll is not a nightmare. That's what we put into Meg Academy. We have that pay for performance model. It just calculates it all out for you and sends it right to payroll. If you have something like that, you are way ahead of the rest, okay? Now people feel like, wow, I am really truly being valued for who I am and what I bring to the table. So those are the three big markers when you're really trying to hire and retain a good new grad. In terms of advertising for them, make sure that your ads are direct, they're specific, they mention these things. You're not competing with the corporates out there. You're actually competing with yourself by saying, we're looking to hire people who want to stay long-term, invest in our group, become part of our machine, if you will, who are willing to grow and advance, flourish and prosper within our organization, who will look back at their time saying, this is the best decision I ever made because I not only grew professionally, I grew personally. You need to strive toward those things. Let them know that maybe you have a tuition reimbursement program. Make it uniform to all, because that's what you have to do to be legal, and compensate them. I believe the tax write-off is $5,250 that you can write off your taxes corporately for giving back to their student loans. Offset that debt. That's a write-off. That's a benefit to them, a benefit to you. Look at things like that. Look for ways in which you can help compensate them in manners that really go a long distance in terms of their work-life balance and their quality of life. Throwing more money in their check isn't necessarily the best way to go about it. Maybe affording them opportunities to earn some paid comp time or some paid vacation time, some special methods of doing that based on work or projects or special events or whatever you can come up with. Those are the things we talk about to actually have your employee feel like this is a very special place, this is very unique, and you're giving me doors of opportunity that I may not have in the corporate world, corporate environment, or the hospitals type environment. So let's get creative, let's get artful, let's keep our ear to the ground as to what's most needed in water with our new grads. Write your ad as such. Always start your ad with a question and then put in there what you're looking for and why. And if it hits a chord with them as to, boy, that looks like the culture I want to be in, they're going to want to interview with you. If you're just doing sign-on bonuses and big pays and big benefit stuff, everyone's playing that game. Noise, noise, noise. Don't go there. Stay yourself. Stay unique. Be yourself is what I meant to say. Stay unique, be yourself, and create your own company culture. People will want to be with you. That's my advice, and that should help you in recruiting that new grad. Let's look at part 2, going with the advancing therapist. I hope you guys enjoy this series, and I'll see you in part 2.